Welcome to the Anxious to Secure podcast. I'm Yula, your anxious attachment style coach. I'll help you to finally stop overthinking your relationship by overcoming your fear of being left by your partner. Thought by thought, action by action, now episode by episode. Why? So you can experience true, authentic, anxiety-free love and feel a lasting ripple effect in all areas of your life. Are you ready to become the best secure version of yourself? Let's go. Episode 11. Happy New Year's, everyone, or whenever you're listening to. Just as a reminder, you can become anyone who you want to be at any time. You don't have to wait for the next New Year's Eve, the next New Year to start. You can do this at any time. So, welcome. The magic of micro relationship goals, how to become 1% more secure every day. Do you ever feel like becoming securely attached, but it's a huge, vague goal? You hear about it, but then you can't quite imagine what it would feel like. It can be so demotivating when you're having this vague picture, or you want to have this huge goal and then you start and suddenly realize, hey, what's next? What now? What can I do? Like, what does it actually mean to become securely attached? And it can be so demotivating, right? Can't really picture the progress, the result, and what a secure relationship even looks like. I've seen this with a lot of my clients. They set this big goal of becoming securely attached, and then they're like, I don't know what's next. I'm feeling stuck. And they feel this is too broad and too overwhelming, and then they stop very fast and they feel unmotivated. But here's the secret. The key to moving forward is setting micro goals, and I swear by this. In your relationship, in life in general, you can have a broader vision, but then if you really set micro goals, I feel like it's much more motivating for you. You know exactly what to do, you know what it looks like. So that means you can take the action that is needed to become more securely attached. And these tiny specific steps are what will actually help you to make that 1% improvement every day that is really needed to become securely attached as well. So these small shifts add up to massive change over time. Or as Confucius said, it does not matter how slowly you go as long as you don't stop. Something along those lines. And think of it like as if you're going into a taxi and say, hey, you know what, take me to the next pub. It's a bit vague. Alexa, turn the TV off. Okay, sorry about that. I earlier played the Fireplace show, but the program just finished. So now it went to all the other Netflix shows. So anyway, I compare setting a big vague goal, something like going to an airport, telling them, hey, book a flight to America. Or if you're in America, tell them to book a flight to Europe, but without specific location, without the city in mind. And that's a little bit like having your brain as a GPS and telling it to enter a secure attachment style, and you get lost in the specifics and have no idea which path to take. But if you set, small, precise destinations, is much more concrete and you know what to do. So when I start with my clients, I have them identify really specific triggers often. For example, one client felt anxious when her partner went onto his phone and kept scrolling on social media without really connecting with her, or without sharing what was happening during his day, or without asking her much about her day. So she felt very rejected in the moment. But from this trigger, then we created micro goals, for example, giving her partner space when he needed, or taking things less personal, or learning to self-soothe when she felt anxious, or learning to reassure herself instead of seeking reassurance from her partner, and creating a deeper connection even when her partner needs time alone. And then she managed to choose one and really focused on that, really imagining the situations when her partner would come home, and then imagining first, how could she react differently? What could she do to feel better? And that's much more specific. And let's dive into the 10 hyper-specific goals you can set for yourself to become more secure 1% every day. So example 1 is pausing before you text someone for reassurance, or before you call them up. So before you might want to text your partner for reassurance as soon as you feel anxious, this impulse reaction and want to feel instantly better. But instead you could set yourself a 10-minute timer before sending an, hey, are we okay? Are you good? What's going on? To then really take time for yourself to breathe to tell yourself, hey, you know what, I can handle this. And the more you realize, you know what, you can handle this even just for 10 minutes, you can then increase the time for 30 minutes, for 1 hour, for half a day. And you will realize that this feeling is uncomfortable first, but it's not going to make you die. You are surviving this, and it's just a trigger from your past, and you're safe. And it's practice you want to practice, but this is one goal you can set for yourself, and you feel more in control, and you realize, hey, you know what, you don't need constant reassurance from other people, from your partner. Micro goal 2 you can set for yourself is naming the story out loud in your head. So before you might spiral when he's pulling away from you and thinking he's pulling away because I'm not enough, because I'm not fun enough or smart enough, or I don't know what enough. What you need to identify your specific story. And then the goal could be, I want to label this fear, label this thought, label this story. I want to really identify what is the story I have created here for myself. And then realizing this thought is not a fact. This thought is my story, my point of view, based on my past, based on my fears. And afterwards, you probably feel lighter, seeing your anxious thoughts as just stories, as just optional thoughts. Goal 3, you could challenge one fear-based thought every day. Really choose, you know what? These are my thoughts. What's actually my fear? And even saying it out loud. You think maybe if they don't reply quickly, they'll lose interest. If I don't be around them 24/7, they'll lose interest. But writing down your anxious thought, maybe saying it out loud, is already giving you so much clarity. Because the other day I was anxious about something. I couldn't even remember now what it was. But the moment I was saying, you know what, this is my specific fear, I realized, hey, you know what, this is actually not as scary as I thought. Because often we have all of these thoughts in our head and we don't even know what the anxiety is all about. But the more we identify this is exactly the fear, you're able to realize, you know what, this is actually not as bad as you think. And then you can replace it with a neutral thought, like he's probably just busy and I'm feeling insecure because of my past experiences. And afterwards, then you might feel more grounded, more curious, more reassured as well. And focusing on the facts of the situation can help here. Another idea is, for example, you could set yourself this 24-hour rule. So before you engage with him and ask for reassurance or ask if they still love you, you're going to give yourself 24 hours before addressing any non-urgent concerns. And long term, I really want you to be able to address anything that comes up in that moment. But I think if you're starting your journey, it's actually more important to realize, you know what, you don't always need to jump with everything to a partner right away. You can journal about your feelings first, about your thoughts. Because otherwise you start being more depending on your partner to make you feel better and not being able to realize, hey, you know what, this was an anxious moment, but you can actually figure this out yourself first. And it doesn't have to be 24 hours. You can also start with like 2 hours, 1 hour. And again, this is for non-urgent stuff, you know. And if you feel afterwards, you probably feel like less reactive and your anxiety often fades on your own, especially if you learn things like processing your emotions, writing down all your thoughts on a paper and realizing exactly what is the fear here and learning to challenge these thoughts as well. And idea number 5, a micro goal you can set yourself as well, is like rewiring your self-worth. And also using bridge thoughts instead of sky-high affirmations. So maybe you're feeling very unlovable, unworthy, not good enough, and your partner seems distant all the time. So a goal you could set yourself is, hey, you know what, you're going to find a thought, a more neutral thought, like a bridge thought, not a super toxic positive sentence, but something you can actually believe and is actually true. For example, I'm learning to believe I am enough. Maybe it's possible that I'm already worthy. Something that is more realistic to yourself. So if you tell yourself, I'm the most amazing person on the planet, I'm so beautiful, this will make you feel more resistant against this. Hey you, if you're tired of just listening to all the podcasts, reading all the self-help books, and feeling like your therapy sessions aren't creating the transformation you desire, it's time to take action. You'll have to check out my Anxious to Secure course, where I reveal all my secrets and strategies that helped me to heal my anxious attachment style within just 6 months. Here's the truth. 95% of our actions are driven by our subconscious mind. So even if you know the right steps to do, even if you know you have to stop chasing, to set boundaries, to focus on yourself, your subconscious mind is still stuck in fear mode. It's not enough to just know what to do. You need to rewire your mind and shift those old beliefs. That's where your real transformation happens. No more spiraling when your partner pulls away, feeling unloved when they don't shower you with compliments, anxious waiting for their validation and reassurance. These triggers are not to do with your partner. They're about your abandonment wounds that keeps resurfacing over and over again. Imagine this. Feeling secure from within, even when your partner needs space. Knowing your worth, even if they're not prioritizing you at every moment. Moving through your relationship with confidence, no matter what. If you want this kind of transformation, grab my Anxious and Secure course now before the price goes up after the first round. Comment blueprint under any of my Instagram posts or head to the link in bio. So don't wait, you're worth it. So, and now write down 5 reasons why you are enough. Find proof for that. Find pieces of evidence why you are already worthy, why you are enough, why you are loved, why you're safe, all of this stuff to really boost your self-esteem, to know whatever happens, whatever your partner says or does or doesn't say or doesn't do, you are anyways enough. But if you actually find pieces of evidence for that, if you find proof, you show your brain that it's actually true and that you're not gaslighting yourself. And then you feel more worthy, more and more, step by step. The more you repeat this, the more emotions you will access through this process. And goal number 6, a micro goal you could set yourself is prioritizing yourself. You go first. And not because you're selfish and you don't care about other people, but if you're putting your own oxygen mask on first, then you can take care of your family, of your partner, of your friends. But if you always put their oxygen mask on before yours, you will die and no one can survive this. How does this might look like? Maybe you want to plan time ahead for yourselves, for your own activities. Maybe you want to find things that you actually love. And before you're checking in on your partner for his weekend plans or what he wants to do, check in on with yourself first. Hey, what is it that I want to do? And a little hint, when you set these micro goals, make really ensure they're aligned overall with the securely attached version of yourself. What would this secure me do in this situation? So in this case, don't be overly depending on him. Don't set goals that fuel your anxiety or your dependency. So let's say if you want more safety, then don't replace your partner with someone else. Don't then always go to your mom or to your sister for reassurance and safety. Learn first to find safety within yourself first, to set more independent goals and then include other people. Unless you're someone who's very isolated and doesn't have many people around you and you never ask for help, then this could be, of course, another great goal to set for yourself. And goal number 7, and I love this one because it's been super powerful for my clients and for myself as well. So at the end of each day, reassure yourself. It sounds very simple, but sometimes very simple things are very powerful, especially if you do them over a couple of days within maybe 1 month every day. Imagine. So before maybe you do this goal, you rely on your partner's validation a lot of times to feel good about yourself. You really overly depend on him for your emotional needs. But if you write down one thing you did well each day, one piece of evidence why you're safe, why you're amazing, why everything will be okay, why you are capable of handling the future challenges, it will make you feel reassured. You can even think about, what is it I want to hear right now? What would make me feel good and safe, and tell yourself these things. Number 8, self-soothing practices. Choose a self-soothing practice. Let's say sit with your emotions for 5 minutes daily, to breathe deeply, to do like a body scan, to notice where do these emotions show up in my body. What do I feel? Do I feel hot? Do I feel cold? What color can I give this emotion? Like, is it fast or is it hot? Is it like stinging or is it like a very big, broader thing? Where is it showing up? Is it in my fist? Is it in my head? Is it in my chest? Do I feel like a knot in my stomach? What's happening here exactly for me? Is my heartbeat increasing? Am I sweating? Really notice everything. It's a very mindful exercise. You can focus on your breath while you do this. You can allow the emotions to be there, even if it's anxiety, even if it's doubt, even if it's anger. The more you allow the emotions to be there and give room for it, the more you'll be able to pass through this with ease, and the less it will stick around. And a good practice is just starting by naming your emotions out loud. So I always say, name it to tame it, because that will really help you. And we're nearly at the end. So 2 more goals. I think the next one is really important as well, especially if you're often insecure. And that is all about stop comparison and jealousy. And if you're a very jealous person, or if you're very insecure, it's easy to compare yourself to others. If you're not feeling good enough, it's completely normal. You can also maybe compare your relationship to other people's on social media and see what this guy does for the girlfriend and all of this stuff. But, as we always say, comparison is the thief of joy, and jealousy is, it's so unhelpful. It doesn't feel good, right? So maybe your goal is to compare yourself with your younger version instead of the girls on social media, and see how far you've become. Don't compare yourself with your younger version if you put yourself down and think everything was better 5 years ago, 10 years ago. Of course, you look prettier, but at that time, you probably also felt super insecure. Whenever I look at pictures of myself from years ago, I think, oh my God, why did I think I wasn't good enough then? Because whenever I look back, I think I was so much prettier then than I am now. I know exactly in 10 years, I will look at pictures of myself today and will think the exact same thing. So only do this when it really makes you feel good, and to see, hey, you know what, you've grown. At that time, you were struggling with this, but now you know this and that. Or if you compare yourself to other people, use them as an inspiration. Don't use them to put yourself down or to be jealous or to judge them. Be inspired. It feels so much better. And the last goal I have for you for today, guess what it is all about? Is it about thoughts? Is it about beliefs? Is it about emotions or actions? It is actually about catching a negative thought, catching yourself being your own bully, really noticing when you are your worst inner critic, catching yourself when you're doing your negative self-talk. When you notice negative self-talk, label it as it is. That's my inner critic. That's my inner bully. That's my inner bitch. Call it whatever you want. That's Voldemort speaking. That's my, I don't know, maybe you have a second name. Hey, like my name is Noelle. So I can tell myself, hey, you know what? There's Noelle coming out here. And have empathy and be curious what she says, but then reframe it. Then step up with your inner bestie. Tell yourself, you know what? I hear you, but I don't think it's true. And here's why. Talk to yourself with compassion, with kindness, how you would talk to your younger self. And put a picture of her somewhere. Remind yourself of her every day. You would never talk to your kid this way. You would never talk to your best friend this way. You would never, probably, I hope, not talk to your mother this way. And also in my Anxious to Secure course, I provide you with like a PDF with a lot of micro goals just like these ones, including setting boundaries, showing up for yourself more fearlessly, building self-trust, everything that is needed to really become securely attached so you can create a bigger vision for yourself, what it might look like. But now I want to help you choose actually how you can find your micro goal so you can really make it specific for yourself. So this is how I would start. Start by identifying your top 2 unmet needs. And that's based on the 6 human needs framework, which is inspired by Tony Robbins, which I absolutely love his concepts. And if you want to find out your top unmet needs, jump over to my Instagram and grab this free quiz I have for you. It's a 3-minute quiz to really discover your unmet needs, your top 2 unmet needs. And it's so important because otherwise we self-sabotage and try to get this need fulfilled in different ways. And I will show you in a minute how. But first, jump over to my Instagram and reply the word needs under any of my posts, and you will get the quiz sent to you for free, of course. So let's break this down. If your top need is certainty, for example, You might be sabotaging yourself with overthinking situations, seeking constant reassurance, trying to control your partner or the situation, telling him what to do, having these super high standards for yourself and your partner. Another example is if your top unmet need is connection. This is a huge one. If you have an anxious attachment style, and you might be using criticism or nagging to feel heard, to be seen. This is, again, your subconscious mind trying to sabotage you here. Actually, it's not trying to sabotage you, it's trying to get your need fulfilled, because this is all your subconscious mind is trying to do. It wants to make you happy, to keep you safe, and to fulfill your need here. But sometimes it doesn't go the way you want it to be. Sometimes it's sabotaging you. Or maybe you're going to become very clingy and always want to be very close to your partner, even though he really needs time for himself and he needs a lot of space and freedom. So then you're crossing his boundaries. And once you recognize your top 2 unmet needs, you can then create micro goals for that and feel more aligned with what you truly want to do. For example, I want to learn to reassure myself more, to feel more certain, if certainty is one of your goals or unmet needs. Or maybe I want to spend time alone without checking my partner's phone all the time. I want to create more independence here. I want to be certain that I can handle this as well, I want to find proof that I can handle challenges and build self-trust. And another really important secret here is don't tell yourself to stop overthinking. Don't set negative goals. Don't say, hey, I want to stop being so critical. I want to stop having these high standards. I want to stop overthinking. I want to stop seeking reassurance, because we know from our subconscious mind that it doesn't handle negatives very well. So telling yourself to stop overthinking is like telling yourself to stop eating chocolate. What are you thinking about right now? It's chocolate, right? So if you say a word, it focuses on that word. It kind of ignores the negatives. Or it's like with the pink elephant effect. If you tell yourself, don't think about a pink elephant, guess what? You have an image of a pink elephant in your mind. The same goes for setting goals in relationships. Instead of telling yourself to stop overthinking, you could reframe it as a positive goal to I want to feel calm and grounded. And then you can even go more specific and say, when my partner pulls away, when my partner is spending more time with his friends. Or you could tell yourself, you know what, I want to think about something for a few minutes and then I want to move on with my day. Say it in positive words in a way that sticks with you. And your brain is more likely to cooperate when you give it a positive direction rather than I don't want to, or I want to stop doing this. A few more examples I can think of is, instead of I want to stop telling my partner what to do, you could try, I want to appreciate the small things my partner does. Spoiler alert, you can't change your partner's behavior or anyone else's behavior. You can only choose how you want to respond to it. You can choose your thoughts, which then creates your emotions, which then create your actions and impact your results. Instead of thinking, I want to stop criticizing my partner, you could try, I want to learn to express my needs from a more grounded place and then detach from this need. Or if you want to stop seeking reassurance, you could set the goal to, I want to trust myself more every day, or I want to reassure myself every day. Plus, let's talk a little bit about the power of the neuroscience in goal setting, which is also a key aspect. So our brain loves to focus on what you envision. So by thinking about triggers and visualizing different responses, you start building already new neural pathways. And it's like rewiring your brain already step by step and telling your brain, these are the steps you need to take when you're ready for it. And then when there's a new opportunity, it will take that step. So the more you practice your micro goals and envisioning what's happening in the trigger situation, or when your partner does something you don't like, the more you are able to handle the thing and take the right action and have these new thoughts and feel less triggered more and more. More often you do this, the more automatic this will become, this whole process. With each micro goal, you're becoming more secure step by step, goal by goal, and 1% at a time. So yeah, and remember the small wins really add up. And before you know it, you're building a stronger, more secure foundation for a relationship, and of course for yourself too and first. And then it will create a ripple effect in your relationship. So don't forget to take my 3-minute quiz, as I mentioned, to really find your top unmet needs, to be able then to stop sabotaging and setting the goals you really aligned with your subconscious mind as well. And you grab them if you reply needs under any of my Instagram posts. And yeah, let's reframe your goals and focus on becoming 1% more every day. You can do it, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye-bye. Thank you so much for being with me here today. Remember, change in your relationship starts with you. Thought by thought, action by action, and now episode by episode. If you love this episode and want to give me a virtual high five, please give me a 5-star rating wherever you're listening from. It really helps me to boost this podcast a little bit higher in the ranking so I can help even more people just like you. And even share it with one more person you think would really benefit from this episode. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you. Bye-bye.